Hi, this is Jim Reavis, CEO of Cloud Security Alliance. I want to welcome you to CSA's first AI Summit of the year, Q1 2025. I hope that closing out January here, that the new year is off to a great start for you. It certainly has been for myself and for the rest of us at CSA. We had to work a little bit during the holidays to get this program organized, but very excited for the 2 days of sessions you're going to experience with some of the cloud providers, AI companies, enterprises, several of our experts. I know our initiative for the AI Safety Initiative Chair, Caleb Sima, he's going to be presenting as well. So a lot of great sessions. We're going to do several of these this year. We're going to try and get aggressive here. And so we'll see how many. I'm not sure. We have another one scheduled towards the end of the year. But we're going to be at chapters. We're going to be a lot of different places around the world, in person as well as virtually, to bring you sort of the latest insights we have as AI and cloud continue to merge together and the issues of security, safety, risk management come to the fore. So I just wanted to sort of give you a few thoughts that I have, some different areas for you to think about as we start these 2 days worth of sessions. And certainly the future is coming fast. And really the theme for me is we've started fast in 2025, but really at the end of the year, we're probably going to say, wow, a lot of things happened in generative AI and how we manage the cybersecurity of that and how it relates to cloud. So let's get ready for all those changes. So a few things here I want to talk about. And one is certainly the regulatory environment. So the way that generative AI came at us and we put this web interface, I like to say that the cloud and AI got married and they had ChatGPT. And the issue that happened there was so many organizations, regulatory authorities, experts were clamoring for, hey, we need the oversight. And so there were a lot of things that were done in silo, different regions, which that's what you do within your specific domain of authority and responsibility. So we had the EU AI Act, and we had White House executive orders in the US federal government. And there's several other regulatory, mandatory, as well as some standards that have come to the fore around generative AI. And I think what we're starting to see, and from the conversations I see, different people, different organizations are kind of looking at what someone else did and said, that makes sense. Let's see what we can do to maybe use some of what they're talking about in our regulation. Maybe we'll actually reference it directly or reference this standard, this ISO standard directly. And so I think at the end of the year, you're going to see some changes that you're going to see more commonality on. Yeah, this is a good idea. This is a bad idea. There's a lot of good ideas in this. I think we find that there's a lot of things that are sort of tough to understand how we're going to manage when we think about some of maybe the more existential issues that come with AI. I think we'll see also just this sort of understanding of why did we need something new here when maybe the particular issue we're trying to address is really a data privacy issue, and we have a lot of those regulations on the books. So I think we'll see more what I would call maybe sanity or harmonization here, and I think that's going to be an important thing. It's going to be benefiting all of us. I think the big question of like how much regulation is needed is still kind of hard to predict and hard to say. So we'll see where that goes. So just an area, and again, I have this benefit that I get to talk to people all the time that are way smarter than me and have insights in a lot of different areas, and different industries are one of them. But just some of the conversations I've had have excited me about the healthcare and the biotech advances we'll probably be seeing by the end of 2025. I think certainly there's a lot of people who have a lot of do-it-yourself mentality when it comes to generative AI, and I'm not certainly an expert on what you should be doing. I think it makes a lot of sense to marry it with healthcare professionals. But I certainly think that from diagnostics, treatment, just the whole gamut, you're just going to see a wealth of resources. And that's one of the challenges, is sometimes people feel getting the healthcare they need is somewhat scarce. And there's a scarcity of resources, and I think this is going to help that scarcity by having certain things handled by generative AI and people handling some of the rest of it, the maybe more complex at this point in time, or things that really require that human touch. And biotech, I think you just think of AI as being this engine that you can just process so much data. That's so beneficial to making advances in that side. And it's going to take longer than 2025, but I'm just very enthusiastic about how we're going to be able to do so much good for health and many types of illnesses that we thought were going to be with us forever, that there's going to be a potential end to those at some point in time. So anyway, that's something I wanted to throw out from maybe outside of what your profession is and where we're working, and to go back to maybe something that's more core to what you do in cybersecurity. Some of the things that I think by the end of the year we'll say is, wow, we did a lot more autonomous activities. We understood it a lot better. We understood how it can write code. We understand how the different data sources can be fed from one into each other, and how output can be input someplace else. And probably most importantly, how we can have that human sort of check in there, that oversight in the right place. And so we'll see a lot more of that autonomous cybersecurity, which I think is going to be by and large mostly good. And something I think is going to be wholly good is just this contextual AI. And Caleb Sima, again, I mentioned him, our chair, he's had this talk, the 3 C's, where he talks about context, coverage, and communications. And I really have come to think that context is the very big one. And we take so much of the traditional data sources that we have, if it's log files out of SOCs, it's vulnerability scans, it's configuration reports, it's so many different areas that we're normally used to processing, and we marry that with other types of business information that might be in email and Slack conversations and conference call meeting minutes. And we're going to be able to pull those things together and really understand, hey, the technology is helping support the business decisions that have been made and help us even make better business decisions just in time, and really make cybersecurity something that has a much more positive sort of customer satisfaction aspect to it. Because, it's always been traditionally, it's the department in the know. Can you do this? Can you do that? No, you cannot do it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I think finally, and probably the biggest for me in terms of what I'm watching with rapt attention, is just next generation of generative AI. And it's, again, coming at us really fast, and I don't even know what the unit of time is for a generation now in this. And I've talked to different people that are adopting AI, and even internally inside of Cloud Security Alliance, and sort of gotten this feeling that it's as though you were building a house and the models and the types of hammers changed 5 times in the middle, and the electrical specification and how that worked changed 3 times. And so it creates a lot of chaos, and people think, well, I got to stop and maybe start over, and we'll figure this out. And it's getting to be easier and easier to switch and use several different, the LLM, several different models. But looking at these next generations of it, definitely at the end of 2025, I feel that we're going to look at the multimodal things we're doing now and say that, wow, we've really been able to marry text, video, audio, image in a much more powerful way, and make much more compelling systems. And certainly that's going to do a lot with deepfakes, and that's going to look better and better too. And we're going to need to be able to, again, use good AI versus bad AI in what we do. So, but I certainly think we're going to look back December of 2025 and say, hey, we made quite a bit of strides. And then certainly deliberative reasoning and where we're going here. And if you're not super familiar with this and some of like the models that have just been released, and we've got some new things coming in the next couple of months, these deliberative reasoning thinking models that don't just immediately respond. They are a chain of thought, is one of the expressions used to explain what they're doing, is they're being very careful to look at requests to see what they're trying to do and to see what they can do to actually eliminate hallucinations and prevent jailbreaking and prevent the prompt injection activities, because there's a lot of that need to almost, it's like a puppy trying to please us right away, is how some people have sort of characterized the generative AI we use. And that immediate feedback means there's a limited amount of thinking that goes into that. And the more these systems think, the better I think they're going to provide results here. And so this more powerful area, and there's been a lot of talk in the pundits about AGI and where we're going there. I'm not saying this is that, but I'm saying this is much more powerful. And some of the initial kicking of the tires that I've done have been pretty exciting with how it's been able to help me with my job, and hopefully you're looking at that too. But again, I think by the end of the year we'll say, wow, these are really like powerful in what they're able to do. So we're trying to help all we can, and there's going to be a couple of I'm teasing out a couple of announcements we're going to be talking about here. So you have to stay tuned for sessions throughout these 2 days to hear about it. But compliance automation revolution, I think from that, hopefully that name is provocative enough that it's going to make you want to understand what we're doing here. It's an area that needs it. So I'll leave it at that. And extending our STAR program for looking at what we're able to do to provide that assurance for the AI systems you're using, I think is very important. So those are some of the things on my mind, and certainly I'm always interested to hear what you think out there and what you think that we should be doing more, better, faster, and we would be delighted to hear from you and see what you can do to help us out. So thank you. I hope you enjoy the couple of days here, and let me know what you think. Take care.